Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, trend update, UNESCO's secret vote and tomb of the patriarchs. And we are July 7, 2017. Scripture references out of Genesis 50, verse 13. For his sons carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave of the field at Machpelah, to the east of Mamre, which Abraham bought with the field from Ephron the Hittite to possess as a burying place. Now, this is one of many references for the burial place of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The wives of the patriarchs were buried here as well. That includes Sarah, Rebekah, and Leah. Now, the reference in regards to death is Jacob's in Genesis 50. So we're going to zoom in here on the cave of the patriarchs. There we go. To Hebron. And that's what's going to be important. Genesis 23, verses 16 through 17. Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the silver that he had named in the hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver, according to the weights current among the merchants. So the field of Ephron at Machpelah, which was to the east of Mamre, the field with the cave that was in it, and all the trees that were in the field throughout its whole area, was made over. We skip down a couple of verses to Genesis 23, verse 19. After this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah, east of Mamre. That is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Machpelah is Hebron in the book of Genesis. And roughly 4,000 years later, the location is still Hebron in the 21st century. Hebron is located in the West Bank, south of Jerusalem, approximately 20 miles. Get you a little feel for where that is. And it's also the largest Palestinian city with a population of 200,000. Which brings us to today, Friday, July 7, 2017. And under the cloak of darkness, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, held a secret vote in Krakow, Poland. And here they are in Krakow, Poland. This is a picture of what they've done in Poland. The World Heritage Committee introduced the secret Hebron solution at the request of 3 member states. UNESCO voted the tomb of the patriarchs and Hebron's old city as a Palestinian World Heritage Site. So, I mean, here we are clearly in the heart of Israel, and UNESCO has deemed this a Palestinian World Heritage Site. Jews refer to the site as the Jewish tomb of the patriarchs. Muslims call the location Ibrahimi Mosque, and that's in reference to Abraham. The location was also deemed an endangered Palestinian site by UNESCO, and they cited a bunch of nonsense like, vandalism and graffiti and a whole bunch of other stuff that made no sense, but that's how they deemed it to be, quote, an endangered Palestinian site. Now, the vote went down as follows. 12 nations voted in favor, 3 opposed, and 6 abstained from voting. Now, as far as what countries voted and how they voted, that information is not available because it was a secret vote. But you can go to the UNESCO website, and here is a list of the World Heritage Committee countries as follows: Angola, Azerbaijan, Burkina Faso, Croatia, Cuba, Finland, Indonesia, Jamaica, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Portugal, Korea, South Korea that is, Tunisia, Turkey, Tanzania, Vietnam, and Zimbabwe. And here's a quote from the Palestinian Foreign Ministry. Today, Palestine and the world, through UNESCO, celebrate Hebron as a part of World Heritage. a value that transcends geography, religion, politics, and ideology. This vote celebrated facts and rejected the shameless, high-profile political bullying and attempts at extortion. So that's per the Palestinian Foreign Ministry. Now, upon hearing this, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, he hears the vote, he cuts $1 million to UNESCO funding. So no more money for you folks. I think they're down to a little over $1 million. Their budget called for about $11 million a year, and they're down to $1 million with all the cuts and silliness and votes from the United Nations and UNESCO. And this quote's from a Netanyahu spokesman. In the face of UNESCO's denial, the Prime Minister is determined to present to the whole world the historical truth and the thousands of years of deep Jewish roots in Hebron. And again, that's per a Netanyahu spokesman. So if you guys are interested in checking out details from these articles, you can go to Reuters.com, U.S. Israel Palestinians, Hebron, keywords, BBC.com, World Middle East, keywords, timesofisrael.com. Netanyahu cuts $1 million more from UN budget following UNESCO Hebron vote. Now, Jacob was buried with his fathers at this location in Hebron, at the Cave of the Patriarchs. Jacob wrestled with God for an evening and had a life-altering experience. Genesis 32, verse 28, then he said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed. So UNESCO, by the way, Jacob, Israel, same thing. Facts don't seem to matter these days. One thing I would like to point everybody's attention to is take a look at this map from Google in regards to Israel. There are no borders here at the West Bank anymore. And there are no borders up here at the Golan Heights. In fact, you read in some of these articles, they make the comment, well, we're not really sure what the borders of Israel are anymore. I mean, the world is ready to chop this country up and fulfill prophecy in Joel. So it is what it is. If you're interested in the story, please feel free to check out paulthepoke.com, keywords UNESCO, Tomb of the Patriarchs, Genesis, Patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Israel. Thanks for listening. You guys have a good evening. Take care.